So, this Manhattan princess got herself a mind-reading system that let her steal all my correct answers. On SAT day, she even copied my entire essay word for word. The princess was first to speak up online. I totally support checking the security cameras. She was sitting right behind me. If I copied from her, you'd see me turning around constantly. Before any investigation results came out, I was already getting destroyed online. Born poor. Of course, she'd try dirty tricks. Copying essays? That's just pathetic. The Manhattan princess got scared her secret would come out, so she had someone kill me and make it look like I took my own life out of guilt. When I opened my eyes again, I was back before the SAT's mind reading. How this time I'm gonna make you read absolutely nothing. The mock exam results came out before the real SATs. I was still ranked first in the whole school, while Manhattan princess Isabella Rodriguez held steady at second place. Looking at our scores that were only a few points apart, even our homeroom teacher kept sighing, why must there be two geniuses in one class? Isabella stood in front of me, reaching out to congratulate me. Emma, congrats on getting first place again in my past life. She stood in front of me, just like this. Friendly, polite, from a wealthy family. All our classmates loved her. Even when other students bullied me, Isabella would be the first to step up. Don't you dare bully Emma. Under Isabella's protection, I could spend my entire high school years peacefully, putting all my effort into studying. But after I died, I learned she only did this to keep me studying, so she could use her mind reading to steal my grades. Then she turned around and reported me, making it look like I killed myself out of guilt. Bella. Emma just got lucky. She worked so hard just to get first place, but you barely study and still get second. Isabella's sidekick Madison chirped from the side. You're the real genius here. What's there to congratulate about something earned through effort? I looked at Madison with amusement. People born into wealthy families like them would never understand how hard I had to work just to have a chance at changing my life. They'd never know that effort was my trump card, the one thing that could change everything. But even that got stolen by Isabella. Maddie, don't talk like that. I admire Emma the most. She's definitely going places. Isabella smiled at me. Emma, I believe in you. Whatever college you get into, I'll pay for your tuition. So don't worry about money. I looked at Isabella, my smile not reaching my eyes, but in my mind I silently said, Isabella is so kind. I need to study harder. I knew she could hear it. Isabella smiled with satisfaction and walked away. That's fine, her good days are about to end. After the mock exam, Isabella was all smiles, spending money to buy bubble tea for the entire school. After every single test, big or small, she'd always rank second and then treat everyone to bubble tea. Her goal was to make everyone remember that she was the genius in school, beautiful, wealthy, and academically excellent. While I ranked first, I'd always been quiet and rarely interacted with classmates. So later, when Isabella publicly accused me of cheating, everyone believed I copied from her during the SATs. My hard-earned first-place rankings became, under Isabella's team's manipulation, the result of cheating every single time. So this time, after I secretly signed up for the national physics competition, Isabella couldn't sit still. Emma, didn't we agree not to join competitions? Why did you secretly sign up without telling me? Isabella sat across from me. The SATs are in just a few days. If you spend time on competitions now, isn't that a waste? Besides, there's so much talent nationwide, there's no point in you participating. In my past life, she said the exact same thing because her favorite pop star was having a concert that conflicted with the physics competition timing. She didn't want to participate, but also didn't want me to. Afraid I'd expose my real abilities by competing alone. But I already signed up, and if I placed nationally in this competition, I could get guaranteed college admission plus prize money. I put down my pen and sighed. Isabella, you know my family situation? I want to take the shot. In my mind, I added, Grandma's waiting for me to get into college. I have to give it my all. Too bad, I'm still weak in physics. My scores have been dropping these past few tests. I might not even place. I'd been deliberately answering physics questions wrong to test Isabella's mind reading. Sure enough, when my scores dropped, hers dropped too. Even our physics teacher called us both in for a talk. What's wrong with you two lately? Why have your grades dropped so much? After hearing my thoughts, she was very satisfied. All right then, good luck. I believe in you. Yeah, I believe in myself too. Because I couldn't afford any mistakes. Harvard was my goal. I needed to get into a good college to completely change my fate and give Grandma a good life. But all of this was easily stolen by her. After I died, she even specifically told my nearly 80-year-old grandmother the news, causing Grandma to die of a heart attack. So, Isabella, this is just the beginning. This time, I'm not just sending you to heck. While Isabella was busy treating people to meals and paying for everyone to go to concerts, I won first place in the national physics competition. The good news was sent not only to the school but announced by our homeroom teacher in front of the whole class. Emma, you're incredible. You can get guaranteed admission.
Now.
Isabella heard it too. The fake smile on her face was barely holding together. After class, she congratulated me while grabbing my hand. Emma, could you not take the guaranteed admission and take the SATs with me instead? I really want to take the test with you. What would I do without you? When Isabella got emotional, tears actually fell down her face. This was the same face that destroyed my life. I don't want to leave either, but it's so rare to get guaranteed admission. Plus the prize money is substantial. I looked at Isabella seriously. You know how much I need money. Triple. Isabella held up 3 fingers. I'll pay you triple the amount. Stay and take the SATs with me. I really don't want to lose you as a friend. Besides, you could easily get into Harvard anyway. Think of it as making money. She really was a Manhattan princess, so generous, able to buy someone's future so easily with money. Sure, should we make it official? I reached out my hand, naively thinking, having money is so nice. With triple the money, that'd be enough for Grandma and me to live on. Of course we'll make it official. Isabella smiled with satisfaction again. I gave up the guaranteed admission, because I never planned to take it anyway. But Isabella had to change her plans. After all, the national physics competition first place made it impossible to frame me for copying from her. News of my national physics competition win spread everywhere. Not only was it posted on the bulletin board, but the school principal mentioned it during every Monday morning flag ceremony speech. I got the money and the honor. On the weekend, I told Grandma the good news and gave her the school's prize money. She smiled so wide. Our Emma is so accomplished. If your parents knew this news, they'd be so happy. Yes, I carried everyone's hopes on my shoulders. My dad died in a mining accident when I was little, and my mom died in a car accident while working out of town. Only Grandma raised me by herself. She was my only reason for living. As long as she was happy, I was happy. In the following practice tests, Isabella was dejected for a while. She stopped promoting her naturally gifted image and started studying hard every day, building a hardworking student persona instead. Madison also started praising Isabella constantly, while putting me down. Bella, if you hadn't gone to that pop concert and had joined the physics competition instead, who knows who would have gotten first place. But only I knew Isabella was trying to figure out how to win the state champion title. So to avoid raising her suspicions, after Madison praised her, I immediately praised Isabella in my mind. Yeah, I was so lucky. If Isabella had entered the competition, who knows who would have won first place. I need to study even harder to get into Harvard. Isabella gave me a meaningful look, then relaxed and continued studying. Soon the SATs arrived. I saw the exact same test papers as in my past life and answered quickly. Meanwhile, I silently recited wrong answers in my mind. During the English section, I gave my essay everything I had, determined to get a perfect score. After all, I really wanted to see what choice Isabella would make this time. The SAT testing hall was silent, save for the frantic scratching of pencils and the rhythmic ticking of the wall clock. Isabella sat exactly where she had in my past life, one row behind me, slightly to the left. I could feel her focus, that invisible, greasy tether of her system, reaching into the back of my skull. It felt like a cold draft. In my past life, I had been an open book, my thoughts flowing out in a stream of academic perfection for her to harvest. This time, I built a labyrinth. For the first hour, as I breezed through the math and reading comprehension sections, I ran a dual-track mind. On the paper, I bubbled in the correct answers with surgical precision. But in the vocal layer of my mind, the part Isabella's system picked up, I was a mess of frantic, second-guessing static. Wait, is it C? No, B looks better. If $x equals $5, then the derivative is 12? Yes, 12. I watched her out of the corner of my eye. Her pencil mirrored my internal hesitation. When I mentally settled on the wrong answer, she scribbled it down. When I realized my mistake and switched to another wrong answer, she erased and followed. The crown jewel, however, was the essay. The prompt was about the ethics of technological advancement. In my past life, I had written a masterpiece on the socioeconomic divide. Isabella had copied it word for word, and because she was the Rodriguez heiress and I was the scholarship girl, the board assumed I was the shadow and she was the light. This time, as my hand flew across the page writing a brilliant, nuanced argument, my mind broadcasted a completely different essay. I mentally composed a rambling, semi-coherent mess filled with pretentious vocabulary used incorrectly and historical facts that were blatantly wrong. The Industrial Revolution was started by Thomas Edison in 1920. I thought, while my hand wrote the shift in 18th century textile production. I could practically hear Isabella's smugness. She thought I was cracking under the pressure. She thought the genius had finally reached her limit, leaving the princess to reign supreme. 2 weeks later, the results were posted. The atmosphere in the senior lounge was electric. Isabella was surrounded by her usual entourage, Madison at her right hand. They were already celebrating. "I'm sure Isabella is the state champion," Madison bragged, loud enough for the entire hallway to hear. She didn't even look stressed during the essay, unlike some people who were practically shaking. She threw a pointed look at me, sitting in the corner with my beat-up textbook. Isabella smiled, that perfected, regal tilt of the head. "Now, Maddie, let's wait for the official announcement. Emma is very talented, too." Our homeroom teacher walked in, clutching a stack of envelopes. His face was a strange mask of confusion and awe. "The results are in," he said, his voice cracking. "We have a perfect score. A 1,600. The first in the history of this school." Madison let out a shriek. "I knew it! Bella, you did it!" Isabella stood up, her eyes shining with practiced modesty. "Oh, thank you, everyone. Emma Miller," the teacher interrupted, looking directly at me. "Emma, you got a 1,600. A perfect score on every section, and your essay has been flagged by the College Board as a model of excellence for future graders." The silence that followed was deafening. Isabella's hand, which had been raised to tuck a strand of hair behind her ear, froze in midair. "What?" Madison gasped. "That's impossible. Check Isabella's score. She has to be higher." The teacher turned to the next envelope, his brow furrowing. "Isabella Rodriguez, your score is an 1120. A few students actually snickered. An 1120 wasn't a bad score for an average student, but for the school genius who was supposed to be a shoo-in for Harvard? It was a disaster. "That can't be right," Isabella screamed, her composure finally shattering. The Manhattan princess had turned into a snarling brat in a split second. She cheated. She must have switched the papers. I sat right behind her. "I know what she wrote." "How do you know what she wrote, Isabella?" I asked, standing up slowly. I walked toward her, my gaze cold and unwavering. "The SAT is a silent exam. Unless you were reading my mind." Isabella's face went from pale to a ghastly, mottled red. "I know. I saw her pencil moving." The essay. Her essay was about Thomas Edison and the 1920s. The teacher looked at the essay portion of Isabella's report. "Isabella, your essay is about Thomas Edison starting the Industrial Revolution in 1920. It was graded a 2 out of 8 for gross historical inaccuracies and lack of logical cohesion." He then looked at my report. Emma's essay is a 12-page analysis of 18th century mechanization. I leaned in, whispering just low enough for only her to hear. The static in my head was a bit loud today, wasn't it, Bella? Hard to hear the truth when the lies are so convincing. Isabella didn't go down quietly. Just like in my past life, she tried to use her family's wealth to manipulate the narrative. Within 3 hours, a leak appeared on the school's forum claiming I had used a high-tech cheating device to transmit answers. But I was ready. I went straight to the principal's office. "I'd like to report a serious security breach," I said, placing a small, thumb-sized device on his desk. "What is this?" "It's a signal jammer," I said. "I found it tucked into my desk right before the SATs. I think someone was trying to interfere with the testing environment." But more importantly, I pulled out my phone and played a recording. It was the conversation from weeks ago, the one where Isabella offered me triple the prize money to take the test with her. Isabella Rodriguez tried to bribe me to stay and take the SATs, I told the principal. She specifically said, "What would I do without you?" She's been using me as an academic crutch for years. And when I won the physics competition without her, she panicked. The principal's eyes widened. Bribing a student to influence testing was a violation of the school's charter and the college board's ethics. While the school board was meeting, the bullet comments in my vision started going wild again. Holy crap, the villainess actually outsmarted the system. Isabella's mind-reading system is glitching. It says, "User trust level at 0%. Feedback loop initiated." Wait, look at the news. The Rodriguez family is under investigation for academic fraud at the university level too. It turns out, Isabella wasn't the only one in her family using shortcuts. Once the thread was pulled on Isabella's SAT score, the authorities started looking into her older brother's Ivy League admission. The Manhattan princess hadn't just ruined herself, she had invited the wolves to her family's door. A week later, Isabella was expelled. Her family was embroiled in a scandal that was splashed across every tabloid. They were no longer the Manhattan royalty. They were the academic frauds. I was sitting on a bench in the park with my grandmother, showing her my official acceptance letter from Harvard. A full ride. The prize money from the physics competition and Isabella's bribe, which I had kept and legally declared as a gift after reporting her, was more than enough to move Grandma into a beautiful, quiet apartment near the campus. I saw a familiar figure walking toward us. It was Isabella. She looked terrible. No makeup, her expensive clothes wrinkled, her eyes sunken. She didn't have her entourage. Madison had dropped her the second the genius label was stripped away. "You," she hissed, stopping in front of me. "You destroyed everything. My system is gone. My family is ruined. We're losing the penthouse." I looked at her, and for the first time, I felt the weight of my past life lift. "I didn't destroy you, Isabella. You were a parasite. A parasite eventually kills the host, or the host builds an immune system. I just got my flu shot." "I'll kill you," she whispered, the same look in her eyes as the night she had me murdered. I didn't flinch. I pointed to the two men in suits standing a few yards away, the security detail my father's old union had provided after I won the national award.
"Try it," I said.
"But remember, there are no security cameras here to miss the truth this time." "And Isabella?" In my mind, I'm currently thinking of a very specific 10-digit number. It's the account balance you'll have left after the lawyers are done. Want to guess what it is? I stood up, tucked my grandmother's arm into mine, and walked away. I didn't need to read her mind to know what she was feeling. The silence in her head must have been deafening. For the first time in her life, Isabella Rodriguez had to live with only her own thoughts. And based on the look on her face, she was absolutely miserable.